Hi guys and welcome back to Irony Completed. Today's video is just a little bit of a 1990s Drew Barrymore kind of inspired look that I talked about in my favourites video. So you've got like a kind of darkish, brownish, brickish lip with very minimal matte eye makeup. It's a little bit grungy, it's very autumnal and largely inspired by Drew Barrymore. She was queen in the 1990s, truly the queen. So I hope you guys enjoy this video and let's get on with it. Woo!
First of all, I'm taking a mattifying pore filling primer because skin in the 90s was incredibly matte, which is not usually what I go for, but I'm just placing this in all the areas that I have pores and I want to minimise shine. And then I'm taking an extremely small amount of foundation, just one pump barely, and this is a very liquidy foundation. I'm first placing it on my face with my fingers in order to get an even light coverage, and then I am blending it in with a Real Technique sponge. This one's like nearly brand new. Look how satisfying that orange colour is. I'm just blending this all in to give myself a medium, light, naturalish kind of coverage, and making sure that I blend down my neck because this foundation is slightly too dark for me. Then I'm concealing with the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer just to make sure that I do look flawless without my skin looking cakey. And I will be going in with a different concealer for the under eyes, but I won't be highlighting or anything. This is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. It is a little bit lighter than my skin, but I'm not going to put it in a highlighting kind of shape. I'm just putting it where I have darkness on my under eyes and then around my nose as well, and then I'm blending it in with one of these miniature Real Techniques sponges, which I really like actually. They're very handy. Just blending this all in to make sure that I don't look too dead, even though I guess that's the point of a grungy 90s look. This is less grungy than my previous look. Once again, because skin was matte, I am first powdering my under eyes with the same sponge just to make sure that they're really well set and locked into place. And then I am taking a fluffy brush and dusting the powder all over my face to ensure an all over matte look, which, like I said, isn't what I usually go for, but it's what I'm going for with this look. To fill in my brows, I'm using the Brow Power by IT Cosmetics. And just doing my usual brow routine. I've done it in a few videos. If you'd like a brow routine video just dedicated to that, then let me know because I can do a more in-depth one. But my basic thing is just to fill in the sparse areas, which is usually around the tail, and make sure that it looks natural and full. Obviously brows in the 90s were much thinner than what I have, but I'm not going to put my brows or cover them for this video because I actually have to do stuff this day. So I'm just making sure my brows look kind of unkempt and a little bit messy as opposed to really overdone. I'll be priming my eyes with the Urban Decay Primer Potion like always, just because my eyeballs do not hold on to eyeshadow without primer. And then I'm setting the primer with this Makeup Geek shade. I think it's Peaches and Cream. Might be wrong. It's a very 90s colour though, I do like it, and I'm also kind of blending it up into the crease to use as a transition shade. And then I'm taking that on my lower lash line as well with the same brush in a big kind of circular radius, similarly to what I did in my previous 90s look. Then I'm taking Creme Brulee. I always use this shadow, I'm realising, and I'm sorry for that, but I just really love Makeup Geek. It's a very warm toned brown. I'm using it as a transition colour slash crease colour. Blending in a big circle, keeping the shape very circular but my lid quite bare. I only want that Peaches and Cream shade on the lid. And again blending it under my lower lash line. And then I'm blending that shade out with the brush that I used for my first transition colour just to make sure that everything is smooth and seamless. Blending is important for this look. And then I'm taking this Sleek palette. I can't remember the name of it, but it's got like blushes and eyeshadows. And I'm taking the orangey blush and I'm popping this into the crease as well, focusing it on the outer corner and the outer crease, but blending it all the way through very lightly. I love this colour, it's so warm, but it's still a brownish tone as opposed to a straight up orange. And I'm putting this on my lower lash line too, but kind of focusing it more towards the outer corners of my lower lash line as opposed to dragging it all the way through. And then blending once again. And then I'm taking some of this darkest brown shade from the palette. It's a matte dark brown. It's not super pigmented, but I wanted a very kind of light application of this colour. I'm focusing this even more on the outer corners of my eyes and really blending it away. I just want a little bit more definition on the outer edges because I feel like in a circular-ish look that's quite important. And then I am also kind of smoking this on the outer corners of my lower lash line as well. And then blending, blending, blending. There is no excuse for not blending. I'm taking this kind of shimmery champagne tone. This is the only shimmer that I will be using because matte looks were where it was at in the 90s. But I wanted to highlight my inner corners slightly, but I'm not blending this out much, keeping it very focused on those inner corners. Then going back in with that darkest charcoaly brown kind of shade. And quite a big smudger brush actually. I'm not being very precise with this, I'm just using it to give some definition to my upper lash line as well, as opposed to using an eyeliner, because that was not very 90s, not very Drew Barrymore in this era. Then I'm using the Soap & Glory Thick and Fast Lash Mascara, and you've all seen what putting mascara looks like, so I have really sped this up. I'm really going ham and applying quite a lot for this look. That's the eyes done, pretty much. I think they look pretty good. I'm going to use the same blush on my face, just because I feel like earth tones like this were quite big in the 90s. You could also use a mauve. I will warn you, if you're using the exact same blush as this, it's extremely pigmented, as all sleek blushes are, so you might need to be careful if you have skin as light as mine. But I do think this look really ties the eyes and the face together, which I like. I'm also kind of blending up onto my temples, just to kind of carve my face out without contouring. And then, although highlight wasn't really worn in the 90s, I'm taking a quite subtle white highlight from the sleek Solstice highlighting palette, just on my cheekbones, not at all down the centre of my face. Then I was debating which lip colour to go for, Unicorn Blood or Praline, and I ended up going with the Ciate Olivia Palermo collab in Praline, just because I was going out to work for the day, to uni for the day, sorry, and I didn't want to be too extra, but I feel like both colours work really well. Anything that's kind of a wine tone or a really brick brownish red like the one that I'm wearing, anything like that will work. And I really like the way that this looks with the eyes. And then because this is kind of a satin lipstick, I am powdering it with the same pressed powder I used on my face, just to make sure that it is more of a matte finish. And that's the face finished. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did and you'd like to, then please subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, they'll all be linked down in the description, along with what I'm wearing and all the products that I used in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!